Hi hippie knitters, I'm back. Okay, so first and foremost, sadly I am still sick. Whenever I get sick, because I have asthma, it takes me forever to get well, especially if I have a cough. So if I cough during this, I'm so sorry. Seriously, every time you guys watch a video, I'm either sneezing or coughing. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm gonna try and make it through because I've missed you guys and I've missed making videos and it's been too long. So, what have I been up to? Obviously I've been sick, had a sick baby too, and a sick little boy. My oldest luckily did not get sick and my husband luckily did not get sick because I needed somebody to help take care of us. So anyway, we're getting better. Everyone's on the mend. We still have some coughs and snotty noses, but we're getting better. So while I was sick, I didn't really feel like knitting any big projects or working on my, I'm never gonna get this cardigan done. My hoodie shawl cardigan by Sew Sew Knits, I'm never gonna get it done because I just keep putting it off. I need to sit down and just do it. Eventually I'll get it done and be able to show you guys. But for now, I've been knitting a ton of socks. One of my friends, who's also my neighbor, I knitted her pair of socks and she loved them, thank goodness. I've been on a sock kick. I don't know why. I mean, I love knitting socks, but sometimes I take a break for quite some time, and right now I'm kind of in a sock phase. So I made myself some shorty socks, just some little anklet socks, I guess you could call them ankle socks. And then I made my neighbor some socks, and now I'm working another pair for myself. So anyway, that kind of catches you up with the little bit that I've been doing. Which hasn't been a whole lot. I'm a hot mess today. I'm just wearing a t-shirt, hair, and a ponytail. My knitting area is a mess. It's a good thing you can't see down here because it is a hot mess. There's yarn everywhere. I've been sorting and going through yarn and trying to prepare for future videos for you guys, so it's just a mess. So moving on, today's video is going to be about my favorite knitting/crochet books. I know with the age of Ravelry, which I love, don't get me wrong, but with the age of Ravelry, people just don't use the books as much. They don't buy knitting books as much. I can't help it. I love them. Sometimes it's nice just to open the book and have it right there and not have to either print something off or constantly use my phone or my iPad or my computer to look at patterns. So we're gonna talk about my favorite books that I have collected over time. So here we go. All right, so this first book is actually, it's an older book. I don't know why, but I love it. The toys are super funky and unique, and I have made so many of these dolls for friends and for my own kids, and when my youngest gets a little bit older, I'm probably gonna knit him some of these too. I don't know, I just think they're really cool and kind of funky. I'm trying to see, I'm not sure what year this one came out. I'm sure it says somewhere in here, but I actually got it, let's see, 2006. So this is a 2006 book, which to a lot of you, that's really old. So my oldest is 13. That means that this book came out when she was 2. Crazy. Okay, so the book is Dream Toys by Claire Garland. And some of you have probably heard of her. She's got a Ravelry page and she's got a lot of patterns on there and she has some really cool ones. But for some reason, I just love this book. Look at that doll. It's just super cool and it's different. Sometimes there's a lot of little pieces to knit with her stuff or crochet, but I love it. It's still fairly quick. Almost all of them use fingering weight yarn. So I'm gonna show you. So there's a basic doll pattern. Just, you can see here some of the stuff. So a basic doll pattern, and you can use that to make all the dolls in here. So you use that, and then with each pattern, you can add on accessories. So here's this one. Can you see that okay? Yeah, a little bit. All right. So that one, you know, you add the accessories, different hair, different clothing, and then, but that gives you a basic idea. And see, this one makes a fairy, But it gives you an idea of how one pattern can make like a billion things just by changing colors, accessories, clothes. Let me see here. And look, there's even some other stuff like, look, this horse. I love this horse. Think about all the things you could do with that horse. You can make it black and white. You can make it brown. You could do so much stuff with it. I've made it as a unicorn and as a regular horse, depending on who I was making it for. But I just absolutely love it. Everything in this book is so funky and cool. So with that basic doll pattern, you can even make boy dolls. So here's like a cowboy looking guy. There is a pirate. The pirate's pretty cool. I've made the pirate for my son. Look at that. It's pretty awesome. And there's a bunch of other stuff in here. You know, there's a fairy house. There's a mermaid. I've made the mermaid several times for different people. There's a boat. All kinds of cool stuff. I ended up getting this at a place called Garden Ridge that was in Texas. I'm not sure if it's still there anymore. But I got it for $3.99, which is super cheap. You know, normally I'm guessing this runs for a good amount more. Usually books like this, let's see here, $21.95 was the original price. So I got it on a clearance thing. You might still be able to find it. And if you can't find it, maybe look on eBay or wherever. But Dream Toys by Claire Garland. I love it because it's just funky. Okay. The next one is actually they're two different books, and they're both by Christina McGowan. Her stuff, if you've ever seen it on Ravelry, is so cute. She does all kinds of dresses and sweaters and skirts, and I just love it because her stuff really is modern and comfortable, and it's actually not hard to knit. I've made several of her things actually. Okay, so the first one is this one, Modern Top-Down Knitting by Christina McGowan. I love it. Even that dress on the front is pretty cool. So, like I said, this one has a lot of dresses and things like that. It's got hats. But I wanted to show you some of these dresses. And there's some sweaters and stuff in here as well. But some of the dresses I really like because they're simple, but they're kind of like an all-season dress, you know, where you can make it out of wool and it'll still be breathable in the summer, but warmer in the winter with a cardigan or something and some boots. So there's this one, which is super pretty. I love that one. And it's just mostly in garter stitch. There's like a almost like a honeycomb type of pattern, not the honeycomb stitch, but just a honeycomb type of pattern across the torso, but the rest is all in garter stitch, and so it's just increasing and decreasing. There's some arm warmers, something funky and different. Pretty cool. Which again, don't look very hard. I mean, you're just knitting in the round for a pretty good amount of time. If you knit socks, you should be able to knit these. There's some fun hats in here. There's sweaters. I thought this tank top was really cute. I guess it's really kind of more of a sleeveless shirt than a tank top. But I was thinking about making some of those for summer. Something easy. Here's another dress. It's in this book. Sorry if these aren't focusing. But remember, you can always look these up online. Ravelry will have all of these books, and it'll show you if you click on the book and you click on View All Patterns, I believe, it'll show you all the patterns that are in the book, so you can get an idea of what's in there before you buy it to see if you really like it and you're going to knit a bunch of the patterns. I found with a lot of books, if there's only one pattern in there that I'm going to knit, it just seems silly to buy the whole book because I'm never going to use it. I try to buy books where I'm going to use a lot of the patterns because, I mean, books can get expensive. So, and then look here, she's even got some skirts in here. So that's cool. She's got some scarves in here. Here, this is another skirt. I thought this was really neat. Skirts are one thing I've never knitted for myself so far. I actually made them for when my kid was little. But yeah, so again, Modern Top-Down Knitting by Christina McGowan. It's a really good book. I really love it. So look it up on Ravelry and see if you like some of the patterns, because there's a bunch more than what I'm showing you. And see if it's something that you'd be interested in, because I really love it. So the other book that I'm going to show you is also by Christina McGowan, and this is called More Modern Top-Down Knitting. And just in case you don't know, top-down knitting is you start at the top of the garment and work your way down. So sometimes when people make sweaters, they start at the bottom. I've never done that, but I guess a lot of people do it. I don't know. And you knit like the ribbing on the bottom of the sweater, and then you work your way up, and then you do the arms and all that. And then you end with closing off the neck. I've never made them like that. But this one you do top down, so you start with the neck, and then you increase, and a lot of times it's like a raglan increase is what they call it. But you just keep increasing, and then you get to a certain point, and you've increased for the shoulders, and you've increased to get ready to make the armholes, and then it'll have you put the armholes on the holders, on like a stitch holder or a spare piece of yarn, and then you knit the rest of it, and then you go back and knit the arms afterwards. You just pick up those stitches. That way you don't have to, or you just put those stitches back on needles. That way you don't have to pick up stitches that have been bound off or casted off. So the Modern Top-Down Knit, everything is knit from the top down, the dresses, everything. So this is the other book. It's called Modern Top-Down Knitting, More Modern Top-Down Knitting. Like I said, also by Christina McGowan. Look at that skirt on the front. That's super pretty. I really need to make more skirts, apparently, because I have a lot of skirt patterns and didn't even realize it. I haven't had my coffee, so I don't know why I sound chipper. I'm sure I sound like I'm talking a mile a minute. I'm also trying to get this done before the baby wakes up, because little man wakes up and he is screaming and hungry. Okay, so one of the really cool patterns in this book, I thought it was really cool, were these pants. And I mean, you could totally use these as like lounge pants or whatever, but they're pretty cool. Oh, there's kind of a glare, but it's like knitted sweatpants. I like that. I think that's really cool. And surprisingly, a lot of these go up to a fairly big size. You know, the problem that I've had, you know, I'm not a tiny person, so a lot of times I'll find a pattern and it'll say it's, you know, a large or an extra large, and then I knit it and it's tiny, and then I feel silly because then I can't wear it, and then I feel like I either have to unravel it or I end up giving it to a friend, and then I'm frustrated because I wanted to wear it. So I've noticed with this one, some of these go up all the way to 3XL, which is awesome. I mean, how many people can say that they bought a knitting book? And I do have one that is called Knit to Flatter, and one that is like custom knits, and you can customize it to your body. But I like that this one already includes bigger sizes, so that everything's not just an extra small or medium. So this one is just like a little t-shirt, which would be really nice for summer. And this one goes all the way up to 3XL, which is pretty cool. So if you're a bigger person and you need a bigger size, or you just like an oversized shirt, then there you go. I mean, let's see here, the 3XL. Let's see, so it goes all the way up to like a 53.5 inch bust. And then let's see, yeah, so I mean, that's pretty cool because you don't see that a lot. Okay, and then there's some sweaters and cardigans. Let me get to, I wanted to show you one of my favorite patterns. Well, here's that skirt. That skirt's pretty awesome. It's so pretty. And it's very simple though. This one goes up to a 2XL. So not everything in here goes up to a 3XL, but that's still pretty good. Let's see, 57.5 inch hips. That's not too bad. All right. And then there is, if I can find it, one of my favorite patterns in here. I really like a lot of the dresses. Again, I need to knit more dresses and skirts because I have so much yarn, and I mean, who doesn't want a dress where it's made out of exactly the material that they want or exactly the color that they want? I have so many funky yarns, I can make some really cool dresses. I just need to take the time to do it. Excuse me. Okay, Now, this pattern is in here somewhere, clearly, because I've looked at this book a billion times. I'm gonna find it for you, I promise. Actually, I just wanted you to stare at the top of my head for the next 20 minutes. It's all right. You don't need to actually see these patterns, do you? Or hear about the book? Just want to stare at my beautiful head of purple hair that's fading. Oh my goodness, I promise it's in here. Okay, so anyway, there's a lot of cardigans and sweaters and t-shirts and all kinds of really cool stuff in here. This one I think has more sweaters and cardigans and such than the other one. The other one doesn't have quite as many. Okay, here's the dress. I'm sorry, it's called the oak dress. I really love it. It's just really cool. And you know, you could do shorter sleeves for summer if you don't want, which these aren't super long sleeves, but it's just so cool. I mean, my problem is that I get bored with stockinette stitch after a while, so, but if I took breaks, maybe did a pair of socks in between and then knitted a bunch of it, I think I could get it done fairly quickly because it's simple. This one goes up to 2XL also. So anyway, okay, so more modern top-down knitting by Christina McGowan. McGowan? I think it's McGowan. So very cool, very cool. Her books are awesome. And she has patterns, I believe, that are available to download on Ravelry. And even some of the ones that are in these books, I think there's a few on there. So you should check it out because I really love it. Okay, so obviously I have 3 kids, so I've made a lot of baby stuff through the years. And I have a lot of friends that have had kids and I make them baby stuff. Whenever I send a goodie box to friends, or like a baby shower type of box, whatever you want to call it, I always include hand knitted stuff. I mean, people appreciate it, I hope, and you can make the coolest little things and customize it, and it's just a fun little personal touch. So I have a lot of baby books, and probably unfortunately for those that don't have kids, I'm going to show you a lot of those books. Because again, these are some of my favorite books. And I have a ton of books over there. I'm looking at my books. I have so many books. So in the future, I'll probably show you some of the ones that I don't use as much, but that I still like and can't bring myself to get rid of. So, yeah, so we'll do that. And by the way, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I guess you can see this. This over here. It's one of those sonic plug-in things. You plug it in to get rid of like critters and spiders and all that stuff. We have a snake in our house. No, I'm not kidding. We have a freaking snake. Okay, so I'm not terrified of snakes. If I see one like in the yard or in the woods, or, you know, a lot of times you go to the zoo, they'll have them in like the big old disgusting snakes in like, you know, in, what do you call it, behind glass, in like their own little thing. That doesn't bother me. I just don't want to touch them, and I don't want them in my house. It's in my personal space. I have no clue where it is. We found snake skins in our, okay, so our laundry room is off our kitchen on the main floor. I'm upstairs right now. So our laundry room's off the kitchen, main floor, and then dining room. We have an open floor plan down there, and the living room. It's all in one big open area. So we found snake skins in the laundry room, in the kitchen, and in a box that has shoes in it next to our dining room table. So clearly this little disgusting thing crawled through everything and shed its skin and blah, 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 whatever. I don't know where it is now. We've looked, we don't have any holes in our house. There's no place for it to really get in, except some people said they like to come in the dryer vent sometimes. My thing is once it gets up and through the dryer vent, where does it go? There's no hole in our vent or in the tube, whatever you call that thing that goes outside from the dryer. There's no hole. So, and he obviously can't slither out of the lint thing, the lint trap, because it's closed all the time. And I would think that when I open it to clean it out, I would see the freaking snake. So I don't know. Don't mind my finger. Got stuff popping up on my camera. Okay, so hopefully we won't ever see a snake in these videos. I don't know where it is. I almost don't want to know, but at the same time, I don't want to be scared when I open a closet or something. Don't know how it got in. We'd like for it to go away. We have some snake traps set up. It's just basically a sticky paper in a box, and then you take the box out to the woods far away from your house. I think they say a few miles so that it doesn't come back in your house. And then you pour just some oil, like olive oil or cooking oil or something, kind of over the snake. This sounds so mean, but it's not. So you pour over, that way he can wriggle free. So it's safer for the snake, and that way you don't have to kill it. As much as I don't like having him in my house, and as much as there's critters and stuff I don't like, I don't want to kill them. I would feel kind of bad. So I'll keep you updated on our snake drama. In the meantime, books. Okay, so this one it's got, there's stuff spilled on it and stains, and I've had this for years. Okay, so Debbie Bliss Essential Baby. All right, I love this book. Everything is just like a basic pattern for baby stuff, but it's adorable. There's so much in here. Okay, so look at this. Look at that, that's so cute. Little hoodie for babies, and it's all garter stitched. It's super simple to knit. I made this for a friend for their baby when their baby was born, and it was so quick and super easy. There's little dresses. Okay, I have made 2 of these. I didn't have this book when I had my oldest child, so they never got one, but my middle boy and my youngest boy both got one of these because I had this book by then, and it is a robe, bathrobe, and I just made it out of cotton yarn. That way it was absorbent, kind of like a towel, and worked really well for after baths and stuff. So both of my boys and my baby now uses one. And there's little mobiles in here. There's sleep sacks. There's little sweaters, pants, like a diaper cover bloomer type of things. And just a lot of this stuff you can, if you're really into like, for a girl having like super girly stuff with frills and whatnot, you can make it more frilly. If you just like plain stuff, simple stuff, or for a baby boy or maybe your baby girl, you can just make it more plain. So it's very customizable, and there's lots of different things. I mean, there is a dress and stuff in here, but like this vest that I'm gonna show you. Look at that. I've made this for boy and girl babies. You can just change the colors and whatnot. It's, to me, it's very unisex. Here's a little dress for a girl baby. So yes, so I love this book. It's seen a lot of use. Debbie Bliss Essential Baby. And again, you can look these up on Ravelry. I know that they have them all on there. All right, this one is another one for all of us women. This is called New England Knits, and this one I've seen a lot of wear too. It's tearing apart and everything. So New England Knits, and this one is by Cicely Glowick McDonald and Melissa Labar. I'm not sure exactly how to say that, but I love this book. New England Knits has so many cool things. And now that I live kind of on the East Coast, I live where I am probably going to need a lot of sweaters and stuff in the winter. So I'm kind of excited to knit some of these sweaters. So there's pullovers, like this one, just a little pullover sweater. But it's so pretty, and I just keep thinking about all the colors you could do. There's cardigans. This one is all garter stitch also, so it should be fairly quick. Super easy, and it's stretchy. I made that one. It's very stretchy. I didn't make it for me. Again, I need to start knitting for me instead of everyone else. There's mittens in here, more cardigans. This one I want to make because that looks so comfy. It's got little pockets and everything. I love that. It's called the Mystic Pullover, and I believe you can download that one online. Actually, I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on that. I thought this one was really neat. It's just a cardigan. And they've got like a little ribbon detail woven into it. Again, sorry if you can't see these very well, but you can look up the books online. There's some cowls in here that you can knit for, you know, and all of that. I'm not usually a huge vest person, but I really like this one. Oh, sorry, it's a really dreary, rainy, kind of crappy day out, so I don't have the best light today. And I don't want to turn the overhead light because then it just kind of washes everything out and then you can't see me very well. And then you got the light shining off my shiny forehead and it's just not a good look. It's not pretty. So anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of, this is pretty much all sweaters and hats and cardigans, things like that. There's even a bag in here. Here, look at this bag. It's just like a really pretty cool bag. I mean, very easy to make. It's got little baubles and some cabling, but it's not too hard. It's actually pretty simple. So New England Knits, Cicely Glowick McDonald, and Melissa Labar. If I said the names wrong, I'm so sorry. So that's another one of my favorites. Such a good book. Definitely check it out. All right, here's another baby one and toddler one. Sorry. And this one's called Comfort Knitting and Crochet for Babies and Toddlers. I liked this one because it has crochet and knitting in it. And like I told you before, I do sometimes crochet too. So, and it depends on what it is. I don't like the look of some stuff when it's been crocheted. I don't typically do like crocheted clothing, but I love a lot of crocheted afghans and blankets and things. I don't know why, just sometimes I like the way those look. So Comfort Knitting and Crochet for Babies and Toddlers. This is by, I'm gonna say it wrong. Is it Nora Gahn or is it Nora Gaugen? I don't know, somebody tell me. But it's from the Barocco design team that, if you don't know what that is, they have yarn and all kinds of stuff. And I could be saying all these wrong, but cool book, regardless of whether or not that's actually how you say her name. Okay, so this one has like a really cool baby bib, and I've made this one many times. Just a fun little, just different take on a bib than the plain old square rectangle thing. If you're looking for different fun stuff for like crochet, there's, you know, here's like a little dress that's crocheted. Again, I don't really do the crocheted clothes. It's not really my style. I just don't always like the way it looks. I really love this onesie. I've made this before. Look at that. It's so much fun because you can just customize it to whatever you want. I mean, and now I've made this blanket. Like I said, I enjoy crocheting a lot of blankets. I thought this one was just super cool. I didn't have the same colors, but look at that. Isn't that neat? So you use it as a blanket, or they obviously used it as like a little tent. But I thought that was pretty cool. There's lots of little cardigans. Mainly I got it because of the amount of blankets in it. I really like making blankets and afghans, and I know I didn't need to buy a baby book to do that, but it had some really cute patterns. There's, you know, a hooded blanket, and this one's crocheted. Just little things like that. But again, there are some baby clothes in there. Like I like that onesie a lot. So anyway, so this has just got some cute little things in it. It's worth checking out if you have kids, and I like it. All right. The next one is something that I got because I do knit for my husband. I don't knit him a ton of stuff, but I do knit for him. And I've made him some sweaters. I made him several sweaters and lots of socks and stuff. So this one is called Knits Men Want, and it's by Bruce Weinstein. It's pretty awesome sweaters and stuff in here, and they're very simple to knit. I love that there's several different sizes too. This one is very customizable. So it has a chart for all the patterns. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You probably can't see that really. So I'll just explain it. Okay, so they have a chart for all the different patterns, so that depending on what gauge you get when you knit, it tells you how to make this pattern. So as an example, like let's say you don't want to use the size of needles that they suggest. Like this first one, they suggest, and this is just for a sweater. Let's see here. It just says it's customizable for multiple sizes and gauges. So this has gauge 3 inches all the way up to 6 inches, but then it also has the chest measurement, 40 inches to 60 inches. So depending on how you knit and what your gauge is and what size needles you use and what yarn you use, you can customize it to still fit your husband, boyfriend, son, whoever, daughter, whatever you want to do, so that you still have a nice looking pattern and it still works. So I love that this is so customizable. Let me show you a couple patterns in here. Let me find the one here that there's some hats in here. There's some scarves in here. There's a couple pairs of men's socks in here. There's fingerless mitts. So you can do a bunch of different stuff. So here's this one. Pretty easy, but I mean, a lot of men just wear basic sweaters like that. And some guys don't mind the patterns that have like a lot of cabling and things like that. My husband's not really into that. He likes pretty simple sweaters and cardigans. So I don't usually knit him anything that's too crazy like that. And then here's another one. It's just if your husband likes one that has more of like a turtleneck type of top. So I don't know. It's just I think I like this more because it's customizable. So if there's a sweater in here that you don't really like as much, you can turn it into a vest. You can use whatever size yarn or needles that fit the different gauges. So it's a good one to check out. Like I said, Knits Men Want, Bruce Weinstein. So that's a really good one. I have another one that the whole thing is it's geared towards men, and I'll have to show you guys another time. It's pretty cool. All right, this one's from Claire Montgomery. It's called Easy Kids Knits, and this is from ages 3 to 10 years old. Because obviously I can't always use the baby ones to make stuff for my older kids. But this has some beautiful, beautiful patterns in it. Fairly easy, straightforward. A lot of them are unisex, so you could use them for a boy or a girl and just, make them different colors or add frills, don't add frills, whatever you want to do. But this sweater is so pretty. I love it. So if you're into cables, it's a lot of cables at the top, but it's not old-fashioned looking. It's still pretty modern looking. There's hats, there's mittens. There's even like a little, well, the pattern calls it a ballet bag, because it's but it's just a drawstring type of bag that you can also, you can also kind of do it as like a backpack. But you can make that pretty much any color. Hopefully that showed up on the screen. So that's something that's good for pretty much any kid, boy, girl, whatever. Again, there's cardigans, there's tank tops, there's pullover sweaters, there's vests, just all kinds of stuff. Let me show you a couple of the accessories. So here's some mittens. I mean, what kid doesn't need mittens in the winter? Well, I guess if you live in Florida or something, you probably don't. Who knows? This one I thought was kind of cool because it's a scarf, but it's got a hood built into it. That way it's both, so you can just throw that on your head, and that way you don't have to have a hat and a scarf, which, again, if you have kids, even as an adult, I lose stuff, but kids tend to lose hats and mittens and all that stuff. So if you have one that's a hat attached to the scarf, you don't have to worry as much about your kids leaving their hat and then leaving their scarf and all that. It's all in one. So this one is what I was talking, they call this a coat, so you can use a thicker, heavy yarn. But look, they have it for, a boy or a girl. So here's the little girl wearing it. Right there. And then here's the boy wearing it. So yeah, so there's 20 different patterns in here. Again, Easy Kids Knits by Claire Montgomery. I really like this one. So that's all I have for you today. Those are just a few of my favorite books. I thought I'd share them with you. So in the comments below, let me know, do you collect books? Do you buy knitting and crochet books? Do you buy knitting magazines, crochet magazines? Or do you just do everything on Ravelry? Let me know in the comments below. I will link all of these books in the description box for you. And okay, so if you don't know, I finally made a Facebook group. So go look it up. It's obviously under, let's see, I think it's called Nitty Hippie Vlogs. And it's under Facebook group, so you can search it and join in. We're doing, you know, I've been really bad because I've been sick, but every Wednesday we're going to start doing work in progress Wednesdays, so you can post pictures of the things you're working on, and show us just all the stuff that you've been doing, all your works in progress, knitting, crochet, weaving, whatever you want to show. And then we'll do Fun Day Sundays, or Sunday Fun Days. Oh, I can't talk today. Sunday Fun Days. And on that one, I'm going to ask you just some questions about fun stuff. So this past Sunday, I asked you what is, I think I said the weirdest or strangest or most unique item that you have knitted or crocheted. So, and one person commented and had a really cool hat, a Lorax hat. That was my sister, Lisa, which is pretty cool. I need to put something on there that I've done, because I've knitted and crocheted all kinds of unique things. So go in there, comment on that. Tomorrow, let's see, is Wednesday. So I will post the work in progress Wednesday tomorrow, so you can show us what you guys are working on. Again, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for being patient with me while I got another vlog up. It's been crazy. Hopefully I will continue to be on the mend, drinking my hot tea and my cough drops and all my medicines, and start feeling better. So anyway, I will talk to you guys in the group. Please join the group. Please, let's get talking. Let's talk about what you guys want to see and hear on this vlog. And remember to comment below if you collect books, magazines, or if you just get everything on Ravelry. I'm just curious what everyone does for their patterns. So that's all I have for today. Thank you, thank you, thank you again for being patient with me and subscribing. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with all of your friends. I will see you guys on the next vlog. Bye, guys.